Shannon, let me start with you. Are you ready to give Westbrook the edge in the
Nope,
MVP
nope,
race?
nope. He's still in fourth place on my ballot.
Fourth place?
Yep. I got Harden number
Who
one.
are you, Shannon Cuban?
I got James Harden number one. I got LeBron James number two. I got Kawhi Leonard because they win with or without Kawhi, three, and I got Russell fourth. He's 7 of 21. He was 1 for 6 from the three-point line. They're on pace to win 45 games now. I'm not giving the MVP to a guy that wins 45 games. I don't care if he averages a triple-double.
All right. I've been thinking long and hard about this. This is the toughest, and I'm a voter. This is the toughest MVP race in years. Because you got Kawhi and Harden leading their team to surprisingly good seasons. Although now the Rockets are down to about a 55-win pace, which is hurting him. You got LeBron, who's always in it, and you got Westbrook. Usually you wouldn't consider a guy from a 45-win team. But I've looked at Westbrook, what he's doing. I think there's a surprising number of people, yourself, Colin Cowherd, Mark Cuban. I've talked to people around the league who are saying he's just playing for triple-doubles now. He's just grabbing rebounds from his bigs. People are belittling what Westbrook's doing. Now, I got a few reasons why he has now moved atop my list, assuming he maintains the triple-double and that they stay roughly on a 45-win pace. I'd like to see it get better. Number one, we know he doesn't have much around him. He's beaten San Antonio, Houston, Cleveland this year. He's beaten the Clippers, Miami, which is playing well, Memphis, Utah, and Boston twice each.
Yes.
Okay? Then, beyond that, what did he do last night? He matched Wilt Chamberlain, 31 triple-doubles in the season. Looks like he's going to match Oscar Robertson. The numbers, the fact that anybody today is putting up numbers that can match those two guys, and even other people in that era, is incredible because, as we all know, the numbers they put up in the 60s were superhuman.
Right.
Why? Number one, the pace of play was ridiculously fast. Teams averaged 108 shots in 1962 when Oscar averaged a triple-double. Teams today average 85 shots. Teams back then shot 42%. Now they shoot 45%. So there were 56 more rebounds available every game back then than there are now. That's why Wilt and Bill Russell and Elgin Baylor and Gus Johnson and Oscar, all these guys average like 18, 19, 25 rebounds a game, okay? Second reason, let's keep it real. There was the unwritten rule that you could only have so many black players in the league. In the early 60s, it wasn't until the late 60s when you saw maybe teams being majority black. So you might have 3, 4, maybe 5 black players on a team back then, some maybe even less. Imagine if you took out, say, 2/3 of the black players in today's NBA and filled them with white players. What do you think what kind of numbers would a Shaq put up? Would a LeBron James they would average triple-doubles.
Yes.
They would average 25 rebounds. They would average 50. And to think that a guy, when the league has the absolute best players in the world today, okay?
Yeah, because they're going all over the world to find them.
All over the world to find them. There's no racial, barriers to whoever wants to can be in the league. And this guy is averaging a triple-double. He's 6'3". And the team is about as good as it should be. Looking at this deeply has really made me say, I got to go with Russ, assuming he keeps up this triple-double pace.
By the way, just one point of contention. If you replace the the black players with white European or South American players, it might be a little different. Just for the record. Just a little different.
But the European players haven't been as good lately.
Okay, but I don't want to get off on that. But it's a great point that you make. But the point that my friend over here is missing, being so disrespectful to Russell Westbrook, this is one of the great athletic achievements we have ever seen. You can say it's selfish, it's solo, whatever you want to say, but it's just extraordinary, the energy with which he attacks the game of basketball every night, every possession. He was really good last night. He's not much of a three-point shooter. That is not his forte, and you're right. He was 1 for 6, and he's shooting a pretty low three-point percentage. but he doesn't have a lot around him. And that was the first time I watched every game. That was the first time in the last 5 games in which his teammates played as hard as Russell always plays. But for whatever reason, they have just been deadheaded for the previous 4 games. And they went into a little mini slump starting at Portland and finishing with the Portland game in Oklahoma City. And they had chances to beat Portland twice, and they just couldn't close the deal. And Russell was not the MVP at the end of the Portland game in Oklahoma City a couple nights back. But the point was, that was his first triple-double ever against the San Antonio Spurs. That's pretty great because they do play pretty good to very good team defense. The concept is good.
They're second best in the league.
They just couldn't deal with him. They just couldn't. And once you get Oladipo going, and once you get McDermott coming off the bench making some shots, then all of a sudden, Cantor is always pretty good, but their energy was high last night, and they just took apart a San Antonio team that pretty much left its game on the floor trying to come back from 28 against Sacramento the night before. But still, Russell this is extraordinary. Just even on this night, he didn't shoot the ball very well. To have 13 rebounds and 13 assists, it's just extraordinary. I'm sorry, it's the MVP. And again, it's close. I thought Kawhi was starting to close the gap a little bit. And then last night, he gets, the first of the report was he got kicked in the face, but I think he got hit in the face by Oladipo. He did not get to play in the fourth quarter, which is the quarter he has owned this year. So did that make a difference in the outcome of the game? Yes, it did to me. But Russell was Russell, and he is still leading the MVP race, and I'm going to stick with my preseason prediction. He is going to average a triple-double, and then Chris Broussard will vote for him for MVP.
Right? He's shooting 42%. He's shooting 42% from the field. And if you were to maintain that pace, only 2 guys have ever shot worse, Bob Cousy in 56-57 and Allen Iverson. And when you look at it right now,
and win the MVP.
Win the MVP and shoot that bad from the field. I just can't. I mean, right now I think they're tied for the 6th seed.
Okay, but wait a second. Cousy and AI, they're the 2 smallest players, well, except Nash. Nash was smaller, right?
Yeah.
But when they're little guys, they're going to shoot longer shots, and they're going to shoot lower percents, right?
Yes. If he gets up to 4th, maybe 5th.
So it's more seeding than number of victories.
Yes. Because that means he's going to have to probably lead Utah and Memphis. He
won't get 4th, I don't think. I think he could.
What about
maybe 5th? I mean, if the Clippers keep cascading.
But so is Memphis, man.
Yeah, Memphis. They can pass Memphis.
I would be willing to think long and hard if he goes to the 5th seed, because I said earlier this year, maybe 6th, but I'm thinking 7th, and right now he's tied for 6th. So if he could get to the 5th seed, I would consider it.
What do you make, though, of it's just the sheer accomplishment of the triple. This is 400 in baseball. Right. This is batting 400.
I agree.
This would be, I can't even say it's not 2,000 yards in football. It's 2,500. Mm-hmm. Well, nobody's done that, but it's about 2,500 rushing yards.
It's like Miguel Cabrera when the Triple Crown. And I've been very fortunate I was alive when Yaz did it. And I think, 69, 67? 67. No, I wasn't alive then. So this was the first time seeing this. Mm-hmm. So you saw a guy, because now you have guys that all they do is they can hit for average. Mm-hmm. You have guys that can hit for power, but you don't see guys that can hit for average, power, and drive runs in. And so when you saw that, that's an MVP season. Mm-hmm. It's like, the Triple Crown and horse race. We've seen guys get close. We've seen guys get close to the Triple Crown in baseball. They lose the RBI, they lose the home run. We've seen a guy get close to the Triple Crown. Somebody average, like you said, Magic averaged like 11 assists and like 9.7, 9.8 rebounds. Yeah. But to see it and wow, it is an accomplishment. But what actually, give him the 5th seed, Chris, and I'll be willing to concede. If he can get to the 5th spot,